How do you guys feel about playing both Andrew and Peter simultaneously? We have so many turns and we're constantly switching back and forth. Do you find it difficult, or do you think it's a pretty seamless transition for you?
I think what helps is that the two characters are so kind of different. Like Andrew's a young teenager and Peter's this old rebel leader, and I think I really try to use that to get my body and my mind into it. Like Andrew feels very sullen and broken to me at times, and Peter's like the opposite of that.
Yeah, I agree. I think like the different spectrums of the two characters is really fun to play, and actually it fuels me, like going from scene to scene, switching from the characters, and it gives me more of like an empathy for both of them and where they're at, because they're so juxtaposed. And like you said, how one of them is sort of broken and quiet, and then Peter takes on this like big, takes charge of the room energy.
I struggled with it at the beginning, but I think exactly like the two of you said, kind of having this clear character work and creating this strong divide between the two characters makes things much clearer when having to go from turn to turn, especially when like the divide in scenes are so close to each other. So like playing Peter and then immediately playing Andrew right after a turn switch. But yeah, the character work really solidifies things and puts things down in concrete and makes things more clear when I have to go from one character to the other, and like how I want to play them, and making sure that it's clear to the audience that we're two different people.
Mm-hmm. What would you guys say is like a standout transferable skill that you've learned throughout this undergraduate experience that you can take on to other parts of your life or continuing in acting?
That's a good question. But I was gonna say, just getting to like the heart of a text, I think is so key. Just it's helped me so much when I'm doing these dense readings for some of my like other classes where you're reading these 100 pages, but still being able to parse out what the central message is, what the central theme is, what the main goal of this is. I think a lot of doing that work with scripts has helped transfer into doing my readings further. So
yeah, I agree.
I think a big part is empathy, and I think it's so important in like these times where people, I feel like with technology and social media, there's like a big divide between people, especially with how people connect with others, especially when they're like on the other side of the world or something. And so acting and character work especially has helped me dig deeper into all of these characters and giving myself the opportunity to have a more holistic view of people.
For me, it's like the skill of like community and a group of people coming together on one shared goal is something that really inspires me, and like you said, Aaron, like builds empathy. And I think there's something so powerful about like a group of people all coming to try and tell a story, and how all-encompassing that feels. I feel like you can transfer that to so many different projects and different areas of life, career and personal life, and I think that's really something I cherish from this experience.
if you weren't acting, what's another career you could see yourself doing?
Okay, so I'm a double major in linguistics and drama, and so I love linguistics. Something that got me into it was phonetics, and my sister grew up with like a speech impediment, and so I was always more aware of like her going to a speech language pathologist and learning how to move her mouth and like all these organs within her mouth in specific ways to enunciate certain consonants or vowels. And so I'm really interested in the anatomy of that and how these sound waves are produced. So something I could see myself doing is being like a speech language pathologist. I'm especially interested in it in like a more public sector, like in education. I just recently found out that they're also in prison reform, which is really interesting. Yeah. So that might be something I'm interested in the future, maybe.
Yeah, I think I've always had a clear picture of like being a teacher of some kind. This is kind of a cop-out answer because like my career is wanting to be a drama teacher. So still within the world. And I think like what music and theater can bring to like different topics in education is still something I would try and wrap into, you know, my career of being a teacher. Yeah.
I think you'd be a wonderful teacher.
Thanks.
I got into law school next year, so I hope my career will be being a lawyer. So, yeah, short,
So
sweet
exciting.
answer.
Bye!
Bye!